Well, one of the worst kept secrets in all of basketball was officially and finally announced today. One that the NBA was holding off on making for whatever reasons, but Shai Gilgeous Alexander is the league MVP this season. Is that because a group of writers were sick and tired of giving it to Nikola Jokic, even though he had his best year yet of a career that encompasses 3 other MVP awards, had his best season yet with the relatively worst supporting cast he has ever had. And yet, none of that was enough to clear the narrative hurdle of SGA. And make no mistake, SGA is an incredibly deserving recipient of this award. He is a great player on a great team, who also had a historical season in his own right, leading the league in scoring while leading his team to the best record in the NBA and setting the all-time NBA record for net differential in a single season. All of that while finishing second in player efficiency rating, box plus minus, and value over replacement. The problem is he finished second in all of those things to Nikola Jokic, who soundly dominated SGA in all of those categories, besting him by over a point in them all. Jokic, in fact, set the 4th highest single-season PER mark this season ever and the 2nd highest BPM total ever. And he did so while finishing top 3 in 4 standard box metrics, that being points, rebounds, assists, and steals, becoming the first player ever to finish top 3 league-wide in all of them. Actually, hell, no player ever has even finished top 10 in all 4 of those categories in any single season. Jokic, again, top 3 in them all. But, well, the Thunder did win a whopping 18 more games than the Nuggets this season, and that is, of course, all the voters really care about. Well, that and the fatigue of giving it to Jokic for another year. Of course, the only reason the Thunder had that many more wins this year than the Nuggets is because they had that many better players. The Nuggets had just one player rated in the top 70 players league-wide in box plus minus and value over replacement. Just one, Nikola Jokic, who was number 1 in the league in both of those metrics by a wide margin over SGA. The Thunder, though, had 6 total players in the top 70 in both BPM and VORP. So SGA had 5 other teammates rated above Nikola Jokic's second best player in Jamal Murray, which makes perfect sense when evaluating their team's net rating with and without those 2 players on the floor, as the Thunder would have still been an easy 50-plus win team this year without SGA, while the Nuggets, with a standard replacement level player to Jokic, would have struggled to win 25. And look, yes, I know this is a regular season award, but these same trends bore out into the playoffs, as SGA's on-off in these playoffs in the now 12 games played for the Oklahoma City Thunder is sitting at an even 0. Offensively, the Thunder are 1.7 points better with Shai on the floor than off, and defensively, they're 1.7 points worse with him on the floor. So Gilgeous Alexander contributes 0 points per 100 possessions to his Thunder this postseason. Now, obviously, some of this speaks to his level of bench players versus the level of bench players on every other team. But, well, then again, that does speak to his team's advantage over everyone else's. Jokic, for comparison, in the Nuggets' 14 games played in these playoffs, added 17 points per 100 possessions, with him adding 10.4 points per 100 possessions to the Nuggets on offense. And, well, this is the big shocker to many, I'm sure. They were actually 6.6 points better defensively with Jokic on the floor versus him off, thus accounting for that 17-point total. Simply put, Jokic is the best player on earth and the most valuable one. But everyone is tired of him winning these awards, and the SGA era, therefore, has now officially begun. With his scoring prowess and absurd amount of talent and depth of this team, the Thunder will sleepwalk their way to 65 to 70 wins per season for the next half-decade at least. All the while, SGA will be there, averaging 30 points per game, again in his sleep. Best player on the best team. Now it will be him winning 3 or 4 league MVPs over the next 5 or 6 years. And luckily for him, unlike Jokic, Shai's team has surrounded him with a supporting cast that can be truly dynastic. This is just the beginning of a meteoric rise for him, one that will plant him, barring unforeseen injuries, likely somewhere in the top 10 all-time conversation based on resume alone. Resume being MVPs and titles won. Realistically speaking, though, any of the current top 10 league-wide players right now would also win multiple championships with this roster if transplanted in SGA's place. But look, as the saying goes, sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. And in the case of Shai Gilgeous Alexander, well, he just happens to be both.